All right, if we can get seated, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Jibbery jabbery people, aren't they?
What?
Jibbery jabbery.
I know, right? Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. If you haven't yet, and by haven't yet, I mean in the last 3 weeks haven't yet, filled out a welcome or an information card, we really need your information, your emails and birthdays especially. It'll be on the table over here. Tina's wonderful daughter, Jennifer, has done some work on our website. Her and I are going to get together and we should have that up and running this week. And then in addition to that, I'm going to start sending out emails. So especially for those of you that don't do social media, make sure we have your email. Because we're going to be doing a lot of things in the coming months, a lot of activities and events. And I want to make sure that everybody has the information, okay? All right. So my name is Teresa. I am the pastor here at MUU. My pronouns are she, her. And you are welcome here. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, and whatever your story, you are not only welcome, but fully accepted, embraced, affirmed, and loved exactly as you are. I don't know how to turn off the music. I know. Oh, sorry, I tried something a little different this week, and there we go. I have music playing in the background. I didn't have it set to stop, so it was, yeah. No matter your spiritual background, beliefs, race, culture, age, neurodiversity, or abilities, you belong here. With or without documentation, with any level of education or financial security, you are embraced. LGBTQIA and questioning, however you identify, you are celebrated. Your gender is sacred, whether you are cisgender, transgender, non-binary, genderqueer, gender fluid, agender, two-spirit, or exploring your identity, you are seen, affirmed, and honored just as you are. All are welcome. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. In our services, we encourage you to speak of the divine in the language that resonates with you. Whether a song or reading or the sermon says God or another name, use whatever feels right, even if it doesn't rhyme or fit the rhythm. Meet the sacred, the mysterious, the divine in the way that speaks to you. We acknowledge that we gather on the unceded land of the Chukchansi people. We honor their history, their stewardship of this land, and their continued presence and resilience. One more quick note before we begin. We are live on Zoom. The camera is right there. And we are recording to post on Facebook because we are so new we can't go live on Facebook yet. And the recording for that is also right there in the center. Just so you're aware and you don't walk in front of the camera if you don't want to be on the camera. In addition to not wanting to be on the camera, if you choose to take any videos or photos for your own use, please refrain from taking videos or photos of the congregation. And if you happen to capture someone unintentionally in a photo, please ask their permission before posting on social media. We want everyone to feel as comfortable as possible, so feel free to move around as needed, visit the coloring table, grab a fidget toy, whatever makes you comfortable. Just do so in a way that keeps the experience smooth for everyone. Now, if you are willing and able, please stand with us for our first song. And I have no kids here today to enjoy my fun hand motions, so if you're a kid at heart.
You got Bree.
Ready? It's time to sit. You gotta move when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you gotta dance, oh Lord. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta love when the Spirit says love. You gotta love when the Spirit says love. When the Spirit says love, you gotta love, oh Lord. You gotta love when the Spirit says love. You gotta march when the Spirit says march. You gotta march when the Spirit says march. When the Spirit says march, you gotta march, oh Lord. You gotta march when the Spirit says march. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you gotta shout, oh Lord. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. That blank spot there is because I do when the Spirit says do, and sometimes I might want to add like 15 other things, so you never know. All right, our next song is a new one for us, and it is Come, Come, Wherever You Are, Whoever You Are. I read this quote from Rumi in a sermon last week, and Chris was like, hey, wait, that's a song. I know that song. No.
You guys can learn it.
Yes. 1, 2, 3. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. And next week we will do that one in a round.
Hi, I'm Chris, and my pronouns are she and her. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about a couple of Unitarian Universalist rituals. Unitarian Universalism is a faith with some formal rituals, and two of those are uniquely UU and are kind of classic UUs. Now, Teresa and I have been researching, and there's a whole bunch more out there. So we're going to be adding a few other ones later, like the dirt communion and the glitter blessing. So there's more fun stuff coming. But these are the two that I have a lot of experience with, the flower communion and the gathering of waters. So the flower communion usually takes place in the spring. It was created in 1923 by Norbert Čapek, a Unitarian minister in Czechoslovakia. He wanted a ritual that symbolized unity without requiring shared beliefs. Each person brings a flower, places it in a communal vase, and later takes home a different flower, representing the beauty and uniqueness that each of us contributes to and receives from our community. This ritual reminds us that diversity is not something to be tolerated, it's something to be celebrated. It also honors the idea that our strength comes from what we share, not from uniformity. And we'll be doing this ritual for Easter this year. The gathering of waters is a more recent tradition in UU congregation. It often occurs in the fall. In this ritual, people bring water from a place that has been meaningful to them. Maybe a river they visited, a lake near home, or even their own kitchen tap. These waters are poured into a communal bowl, symbolizing the way our lives, our journeys, and our experiences flow together. Just as water sustains life, our shared community nourishes us. Our congregation will later use the gathered water for child dedications or other sacred moments, like naming ceremonies or when someone's in the hospital. This reinforces our connections to each other. These rituals show that even in a faith without a creed, we can find meaning in symbols and shared traditions. They remind us that we are stronger together, that we shape and are shaped by our community, and that our diversity, like flowers in a bouquet or rivers flowing into the sea, is a source of beauty and even strength. And now we'll do the chiming bowl and chalice lighting. Kat, are you on the bowl today? Okay. We light this chalice in the spirit of growth in understanding, in compassion, in love. May its flame remind us to welcome one another as we are, while encouraging each other to become our best selves. May we create a space where all can explore, question, and deepen their journey, trusting that together we are ever unfolding toward greater wisdom and wholeness. And we have a song that you guys know. That's not the clicker. There you go. That's you, Teresa.
All right, now you know this one already, so we are going to sing this one in a row, but we'll sing it all together the first time. Okay. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Okay, we're going to start here, and then I'll cue you guys in. Ready? Earth, my body, water, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body. That's fine. Water, my blood. Air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Excellent.
And I have a meditation for us. Everybody hear a little sound of birds? Welcome, everyone. Let's begin by finding a comfortable position, feet grounded, hands resting gently, eyes softly closed if that feels right. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment. As we gather here, the earth is renewing itself. Spring unfolds around us. Can you hear it? Listen to the melodies of returning birds, each song a celebration of new beginnings. Let the bird songs guide you into the heart of spring. Feel the warming air, the increasing light. Each inhale, a fresh start. Each exhale, a gentle release. Imagine yourself in a blossoming meadow. The ground is soft beneath you. The scent of fresh blooms fills the air. The sky above is vast and clear. You are part of this renewal. You too are growing. What new beginnings are budding within you? What aspirations are reaching for the light? In this stillness, there's nothing you need to do. Just be. Like the birds, your presence is enough. Your unique song enriches the world. As we prepare to return to our shared space, carry the essence of spring within you, its softness, its light, the quiet strength of emerging life. Take a deep breath together. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. All right, and we're going to do our joys and concerns. We've got a list of people who aren't feeling well here, but did anyone else fill out a form we should grab? Oh, Teresa's got quite a few there, I think.
Deb, would you like me to share? Okay. We have a prayer for our treasurer, Jen, who lost her father this week, and for safe travels for Deb and Jen as they travel to Visalia today. We have several sick folks in our congregation today. The Moreno family is recovering from COVID. They are all testing negative now except the mom, Laura. Laura's still testing positive, but they are all now symptom-free. They're just staying home out of caution. Prayers for Brenda, Heather, and Neil, who are all not feeling well today. And prayers for Charlie, who is in need of emotional support at this time. Let's pray. Spirit of love, we give thanks to you for the joys that uplift us and offer comfort for sorrows that weigh heavy. May we hold one another in kindness, finding strength, peace, and love in this community. May it be so, and blessed be.
All right, we got our story for all ages. Here's the pictures.
An announcement that we forgot is we need volunteers so you're not just endlessly hearing me and Kristen's voice.
I actually had that on my list of announcements, but sure, let's put it in there twice. We would love to have readers. You guys are probably starting to get a sense of what the things are that we do every week. And we'd love to have readers for different things and candle lighters. And we would love to find a place for you in the ritual of our service. So please let me or Teresa know if you want to be part of that. So here's the story. We're going to read about fiddleheads that unfurl in the sunshine. And that's this fern here. Spring is a moment when nature unfurls, and no plant shows this more than the fiddlehead. Woken up by the spring sunshine, the buds of this fern have been born out of spores that a mature fern has just dropped to the ground. Finding moisture-rich soil, a spore grows into something called a gametophyte, which is a heart-shaped plant. Within this plant, a sperm and an egg meet, and a young fern is formed. The tightly coiled head of the fern pushes through the soil and out of the earth, revealing its many fronds, which are leaves. As it grows, watch one unfurl here. So it's got one unfurling right here. The fiddlehead makes its way bravely up through the soil, pushing other plants and roots to one side. Fossil records show that ferns have been on Earth for more than 360 million years. Slowly turning its head toward the sky, it begins to stretch outward and upward. And here we have one. As it grows, the fronds fan outward, uncurling, unfurling, outward and up. Finally, the very top of the head begins to uncurl as the fern takes shape and opens. The fern is now free to hang gently, fully open, drinking in the woodland's water-rich soil. We wait as other ferns begin to unfurl nearby. Responsive reading. Would you like me to do that one? Okay. Except I didn't grab the clicker. All right, so our responsive reading. Let's see. There we go. Growing together in spirit. So I'm the small print and you guys are the bold. We come together as a community, open to change and growth.
We grow in love.
We listen to each other with open hearts and minds.
We grow in understanding.
We face challenges with courage and kindness.
We grow in strength.
We learn from our past and dream of a better future.
We grow in wisdom.
We work together to bring more justice and compassion to the world.
We grow in spirit.
As we journey together, may we support and inspire one another.
We grow as one. Oh, see, now, as I'm stepping up here to look at my sermon notes, I remembered that I accidentally printed them front to back, and the first page in the document was a joke I was going to open with this morning, so now you got to hear the joke that was supposed to be part of my welcome speech. Why did the Unitarian Universalists cross the road?
I don't know why.
To support the chicken in its free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
More eggs.
And that is, of course, from the Unitarian Hysterical Society. Yep. This morning we continue our look at the third UU principle, which is acceptance and spiritual growth. To introduce that topic, I want to share with you a story that many of us have probably seen over the years on social media. One day, on the first day of school, the administrators brought balloons to the school. One was given to every student. They had to inflate it, write their name on it, and throw it into the hallway. This was all the classrooms all throughout the school. And the image, which you can kind of see here, shows a hallway just filled to the brim with balloons. The professors then went through and mixed up all the balloons. And the students were given 5 minutes to find their own balloon. Despite a hectic search, no one found it. At that point, the professors told the students to take the first balloon that they found and hand it to the person whose name was written on it. Within 5 minutes, everyone had their own balloon. The professors said to the students, "These balloons are like happiness. We will never find it if everyone is looking for their own. But if we care about other people's happiness, we find ours too." Last week, I talked briefly about how acceptance and spiritual growth are interconnected. We can't fully grow as a congregation without accepting others for who they are. Acceptance is the foundation of true growth. I used to have an acquaintance who I dealt with on the regular, and I call them an acquaintance because we were certainly not friends. And she used to always say, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience." I really struggled with that phrase. Part of it probably because it went against my Christian indoctrination. And part of it probably because that person just annoyed me to no end. But as I began to look at this principle in preparation for my sermon, that phrase kept coming back to me over and over. I realized that even if I did look at it through Christian eyes, it is our spirit that the scripture says will live forever. It is our spirit and not our physical body that is referred to as resurrection. Faith traditions that believe in reincarnation believe it is the spirit or the soul that passes from mortal shell to mortal shell. Even many atheists who I've spoken to have very little concern for what is done with their body after death because their soul is not there anymore. That was just the shell, and it was their soul or their spirit who made them who they are. All that is to say, if we are looking into spiritual growth, then we need to look at what is the goal of our spirit while it is here in this time and place. Or perhaps what should be the goal of our spirit. I don't think there's any higher power out there that you can name that would send a spirit to the earth with the intent of destruction. I don't think there's any good being or present that would send a spirit here to harm others. I think at the end of the day, our spirit's time here on earth must be to do something good. In order to grow spiritually, both as individuals and a congregation, we need to love one another. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times since we began this journey. Every major religion known to man has as their core value to love one another and treat each other kindly. Sometimes that is not an easy task. Have you ever met that one person that they just get under your skin and you can't think a possible good thing about them? Maybe it's not someone you met. Maybe it's someone you see on TV. Maybe someone with orange pigmentation. I don't know. As we discussed last week, there are certain people that we must call out for their bad behavior, and certain people we cannot welcome into safe spaces, such as our welcoming congregations of any faith, due to their insistence on being intolerant of others. The paradox of tolerance, or as I referenced it last week, the paradox of acceptance, says we cannot tolerate or accept those not willing to tolerate or accept others. But aside from those folks, we grow as people when we learn to accept and embrace others just as they are, even if their ways are not our ways. The person who I referenced, who used to say we are spiritual beings having a human experience, probably just about died of shock when they learned that I am now running a UU church. That person believed in things such as moon ceremonies, which will be beginning here in the coming months. That person celebrated the solstice and the equinox, which are reasons why I need your emails. That person would have thought a flower communion is probably just about the coolest thing in the world and would have brought flowers from her own garden for everybody else. Back in the time when I knew this person and had to deal with them frequently, they were just a little too hippy-dippy for my liking. Yes, and then I married a hippy-dippy, crunchy granola parent, as I like to recall her, and began to see things outside of my narrow worldview. The Hindu word namaste really sums this up best, and I'm curious if anyone here might want to tell me what namaste means.
The goddess of nations guiding you.
Anyone have a different definition?
The light in you seeks the light in you.
Peace be unto you.
That is the next word we're going to look at. Anyone else have a different definition of namaste?
I bow to the spirit in you.
And that is actually the literal translation. Good job, Amy. The literal translation of namaste is I bow to you. Now, if you have even so much as watched a Disney movie, you know that you bow to someone in authority. You bow to someone greater than you. And namaste means I bow to you, and that is a common greeting in India. That is a common Hindu greeting, meaning everyone out there is greater. Everyone out there has greatness. But it is also often translated as the divine, the light, or the spirit in you. The spirit in me recognizes the light or the divine or the spirit in you. Another similar great ancient greeting is the Jewish word shalom, which Forrest just went out, I presume, for a smoke break and missed the chance to hear what literally translates into peace be to you. Shalom, meaning peace, is another phrase that is commonly used as a greeting or as a way to say goodbye. Peace be to you. Kind of makes you stop and wonder how a nation that uses the word shalom or peace in every greeting is constantly at war. How can you greet everyone you talk to with a word that means peace and then go into battle? In the Christian Bible, there is a passage that became a popular children's song that I'm quite fond of. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. They that do not love do not know God, for God is love. And I deliberately put God in here in the lowercase g to remind myself that that is whatever God you believe in, because at the root of it all, they're all love. Where is that passage when we're passing laws to take away school lunches? Where is that passage when those who use it are deciding on laws to decide who and who cannot marry? Where is that passage when colonizers wiped out entire civilizations in the name of God? Last but not least, I leave you with a common greeting of aloha. I learned just a couple days ago that aloha is actually the first letter of 5 different words that I am not even going to attempt to pronounce. Out of respect for those for whom it is their native language. But they mean love, affection, peace, compassion, and mercy. Kind of makes hello a really boring word, right? I think we need to start using some of these words when we greet each other, and then yes, exactly. So is shalom. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll remember to treat each other with these words. After the most recent election, I was fuming mad. At one point, I even said, if I see a person wearing paraphernalia for that particular party, bleeding on the side of the road, I won't even stop to help. And somebody sitting there when I said that, I don't remember who, but it was probably somebody in this room, turned to me and said, yes, you will. You know you will. Just make sure afterwards that you tell them who you voted for. Lately, I've been trying to apply that same principle to something a bit deeper and more personal. I had some people, particularly one person, cause me some very deep pain towards the end of last year. And it far surpassed the pain that I felt in November, because these were people who I thought were my friends. For a period of time, I wanted to see that person suffer. I still want justice for that person's actions. I no longer want it for myself, though, for revenge or personal satisfaction, but rather so that they learn and do not hurt others in the way that they hurt me. I want them removed from the place where they have the power to do that damage. But more so, I want them to learn by their consequences not to go forward and harm more people. That's how I'm trying to currently grow spiritually in the moment. But not wanting to do harm or allow harm to be done to someone regardless of by not wanting to do harm or allow harm to someone who's done harm to me. Yet also not interfering with the natural consequences that would help them grow and learn. Now let me be very clear, because the way that I said that sounds like another common saying. Nowhere in any scripture that I found, and I've been reading a lot of different texts, does it say to hate the sin and love the sinner. That's not a thing. And that's not what I'm trying to say. I remember once having a great debate with a colleague at a church that I was working at. Not recently, this was many years ago before I came out. On which is the greater sin, smoking or drinking alcohol? We would debate this constantly. We would have lengthy debates driving to and from events. We would just randomly get on this subject. She felt strongly, because she herself was an addict and was the child of an addict and had seen the devastation of alcohol on her family, that drinking alcohol could just simply not be tolerated in a church, that we must call out those who do it, and that it was one of the greatest sins she could imagine. But she smoked constantly. And I felt that smoking inflicts that deadly chemical onto everyone around you and is therefore harming others and is therefore a greater sin. Little did I know that there was an even greater sin to her, and that was the act of loving someone of the same gender, and she stopped being my friend when I came out. But it has taken me decades to learn that really the greatest wrong that you can do is summed up in a quote that has been assigned to so many great people in history that no one knows who actually said it first. I like to believe it was Benjamin Franklin, but it's the right to swing your fist ends where another man's nose begins. As long as what you are doing is causing no harm to anybody else, then you should have the freedom to do whatever you want. The minute that it causes harm, that is when what you are doing is wrong. That is why we discuss things such as the paradox of tolerance. We can't allow an intolerant person into a safe space who's going to criticize people for who they love or what bathroom they use or what God they pray to. Because that, while they have the right to believe that, they don't have the right to express it in a way that causes harm. Now, I've been told a lot that I'm too political. But in reality, I'm really not all that political at all when it comes down to it. I've realized that I couldn't care less about actual politics. I couldn't care less how much money is spent on the military versus infrastructure. As long as it's being spent to keep us safe, I don't really care. I couldn't care less how many local people we help versus how many people from a distant place we help, as long as all the people who need help are getting help. I couldn't care less how a school teaches math and science, as long as they teach it fairly to all kids. The problem with politics nowadays is that things that are not political have become the center of politics. I do care a great deal whether or not you wear a mask to keep others safe when you're sick. Thank you, Katie. Or to keep yourself safe when you're around others that are sick. It astounds me that science has become political. It astounds me that basic human rights have become political. When it becomes a political matter, whether or not we take kids away from their parents and put them in cages, versus a human rights matter, that's where I have an issue with politics. It may surprise some of you to know I was a Republican until 2008. Sarah Palin and Prop 8 changed everything for me. See, in 2008, when we found out John McCain was running against Barack Obama, neither of them supported my right to marriage. Both of them had similar plans on infrastructure. Both of them had similar plans on education and healthcare. They really weren't that different to me. And honestly, I didn't believe either of them was going to live through their first term in office. I thought McCain would die of natural causes and Obama would be assassinated because we live in a racist society. I didn't care. I was waiting to see who their running mates were. And along comes Sarah Palin with her hateful rhetoric. And then along comes a 7-year-old child at a stoplight one day with a Keep Marriage Straight, Vote Yes on 8 flyer that she handed to me. Now, really, before that moment, I had not involved myself in any political movement. I had not protested at any rallies. I had protested outside an abortion clinic in my misguided youth and have since made an amends for that. But I really didn't care. I knew what I was going to vote, and that was that, and the cards were going to fall where they may. But I looked at the mother of that 8-year-old child, and I said, really? Or that 7-year-old child, and I said, really? And she said, well, we're not against them. We're against what they do in their bedroom and them calling it marriage. And I said, marriage is in many places what gives someone the right to visit their spouse in the hospital. And in this moment, my partner at the time was in the hospital. Said, if you're against my right to visit her, then you are against me, and I don't care what you say. And I went to the hospital that evening and I said, that's it. We're switching our registration. We're becoming Democrats because we got to support the only party that has ever stood for us. And we're voting for Obama because I just found out who the wacko is that John McCain guy picked. And that's it. And she agreed and we became Democrat. And then we met Chris and Jenny and that was Chris's ex. And we didn't tell them we used to be Republicans for a long time because they were very, very liberal, too liberal for us. But when we focus on loving one another and doing no harm, we make better choices. And if all Christians would have kept this focus, then Christian nationalism and the likes of Sarah Palin never would have taken hold. Sadly, though, many have strayed from love and focus on greed and popularity, both of which lead to destruction. There is evil in this world. While people are not inherently evil, people do make evil choices. And that evil will try to sway us from the spiritual growth that we've talked about today. But I encourage you this week to ask yourself, is what I'm doing, saying, or teaching harming anyone? And if so, change it. Also ask, is there any way that I could do, say, or teach something that would help others more? If you want some ideas on ways to do this, come see me afterwards because I've got a whole slew of projects I would love to get your help on. These guys back there are thoroughly convinced I never sleep. Ask yourself, how can you better express love to everyone around you? And what are you doing to reach out to or at least support the more marginalized around you? Blessed be.
You have an intro for us on the song?
So this song that we're going to listen to for our musical meditation is a little bit more simple than some of the previous songs that we've listened to, and a little less childlike definitely than the one we listened to last week. This is a song called Tend that I actually purchased the music to for my previous job and realized it also works really great here. And I hope it'll be a song that we'll all sing together in the near future. I'm going to break it into parts for you to learn it because it is a little longer, but today we're just going to listen to it. And it fits the theme. Oh, yeah. What happened here?
I promise we tested it.
Oh, we did. Let's, no. Okay. That's fine. We'll do this and here. And upload current slide. You got the whole world. It says it's playing, but it's not. Oh, wait, hold on. Nope. That's not it. Oh, shoot.
Do you want to cue it up on your phone while I
Yeah.
do the next
Yeah.
part?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do the expressing our generosity part. So we don't pass an offering basket. We have a basket right back here by the flowers. There's an envelope if you want it, or you can just put your donation right in there. We have a link that you can get from us if you want to do it electronically to Zelle. We'll have more information about ways that you can donate in the future and ways that you can contribute. One of the ways that many of you contributed last week was we're part of or joined in on our board meeting, which was really, really exciting. Best board meeting I've ever been to. And that was wonderful. And the more folks that we have engaged in everything we have going on here, the more successful we'll be. So please do not feel like your income level has anything to do with what you're able to do or give here. And so that's it for expressing our generosity. I have other announcements, but did you want to go back
Yeah.
to the music?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, you're going to miss the really pretty video. I will email it out as well as putting it on Facebook, but here's the song. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it.
You want? Well, can you put it up against here?
That's not going to do anything.
It's like-
In the landscape of my life, you don't rush through any season. You always take your time. A careful hand, a gentle guide. You take what's dead away, and you prune what's running wild. So be the gardener of my heart, tend the soil of my soul. Break up the fallow ground, cut back the overgrown. And I won't shy away, I will let the branches fall. So what you want can stay, and what you love can grow. Through the winter, I'm still alive. What you've planted in the dirt is ever reaching to the light. You prepare me for darkened times. You'll sustain what you have started, and you'll teach me to abide. Be the gardener of my heart, tend the soil of my soul. Break up the fallow ground, cut back the overgrown. And I won't shy away, I will let the branches fall. So what you want can stay, and what you love can grow.
All right, Teresa, I think a couple of the announcements, this would be best for you.
Okay. Announcements. We will have very, very soon an outreach and hospitality team training. If you would like to join the team that does the setup, tear down, greeting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or if you would just like to know how to start conversations with your friends and family to invite them to join you here, this is for you. So let us know if you're interested, and we will start setting some dates. Tuesday, March 25th, so 2 days from now, this coming Tuesday, at the brand new apartments, the River Grove Apartments, our very own Jessica will be speaking. We'll be speaking at the grand opening. Everyone in the community is invited to attend and see what all the hype is about with these new apartments and what is going on there. We really, really, really want as many as possible from here to go to that. So if you have any time on Tuesday, please let's go. This is the apartment complex that we've been collecting things for and delivering things to, and half of our congregation lives there. So let's show up and show some support. All right. Okay. And our closing song is the one we sang last week, When Our Heart Is in a Holy Place. Please stand if you are able and willing.
Uh-oh. We timed out.
Oh. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, when we see our faces in each other's eyes, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we will blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of acceptance, nor the warmth of encouragement, nor the spark of growth within us. May we carry its glow into the world, welcoming each person as they are, and supporting one another as we become our fullest, truest selves.
And now for our benediction. May the love that unites us be our guide, the healing that renews us be our strength, and the light within us shine against the shadows. May we say farewell to hatred and cast out pain. welcoming peace, compassion, and justice in their place. Go forth in love, and may love go forth with you. Amen, Amin, Shalom, Om Shanti, Satnam. May it be so. If you read the reviews about the amazing cupcakes, we don't have cupcakes today. We do have donut holes from Judy, though. Judy's.
We don't care about cupcakes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna make boys out there. But
We might want the smaller plates, Oh, yeah. Oh, I see.
I always feel bad for everybody watching the videos afterwards because they see me staring at